My name is Diana Tang, and I'm the Manager of Government Affairs for the City of Long Beach. We're here today to talk about some very exciting news regarding the city's acquisition agreement with a local property owner. This agreement, pending City Council approval, will set the stage for the city to better serve people experiencing homelessness. And I'm very excited to introduce to you a number of people who will be telling you more about the acquisition and the vision. So without further ado, Long Beach 9th District Councilmember Rex Richardson, Vice Mayor Dee Andrews, Long Beach Health and Human Services Director Kelly Colopy, and Pastor Gregory Sanders. Now, before we get started, I'd like to recognize the following elected officials in attendance. Supervisor Janice Hahn, who could not be here in person with us, is in here in spirit, and her deputy, or Linda Chico, I know, is here with us today. We have City Manager Patrick West, Assistant City Manager Tom Modica, Department of Development Services and Economic Development, John Keisler. We've got the Mayor's Office, Justin Ramirez is here, and School Board Member Megan Kerr. Thank you so much for being here. And now I'd like to welcome Councilmember Richardson.
Well, I think the cat got out of the bag. What do you guys think? All right. It's a good turnout this morning. Good morning. My name is Councilmember Rex Richardson. I'm proud to be here this morning, gather with you, and welcome you to North Long Beach, the former site of Atlantic Farms, where we have an important announcement to make about an important issue in our community. Communities all across America, we know, are facing a crisis, a homelessness crisis. And here in the city of Long Beach, the second largest city in Los Angeles County, at the mouth of two rivers, at the end of the blue line, we are no different. Far too many of our residents are experiencing homelessness or on the brink of homelessness. Last year, 1,863 individuals were living on our streets, but we know as many as 4,000 children, older adults, transition-age youth, students, families, men, women, and LGBTQ individuals will fall in and out of homelessness throughout the year. And at least 1 in 6 students at Long Beach City College and 1 in 10 students at Long Beach State are experiencing homelessness at any point in time throughout the year. As we know from our citywide homeless count, this is a persistent issue affecting many of us, our neighbors, our classmates, our family, and our friends. And currently, the city of Long Beach has limited resources to holistically provide services to prevent homelessness, including not having the amount of affordable and transitional housing units required to house all of those in need. These are uncertain times. Slipping into homelessness can happen to anyone. 7 out of 10 Americans are one paycheck away from being homeless. And we just witnessed as 800,000 of our hardworking federal employees went 35 days without pay. And according to a report soon to be released, the Everyone In Economic Equity Profile conducted by PolicyLink and USC, 25% of Long Beach adults working full-time live within below 200% of the poverty level, well below the amount needed to provide for a family. And while over half of Long Beach residents are rent burdened, spending more than 30% of their income on rent. So clearly, this is a complex issue, and it can impact anyone. This is a crisis of poverty. It's a crisis of humanity, but it's also a test for Long Beach, a test of character and compassion. There's a false narrative out there that would make you believe that providing relief to those in need somehow comes at the expense of the community, at the expense of neighborhood quality of life. That extending a hand and deploying programs and services to assist families will somehow result in a downward spiral for the neighborhood. But that sentiment is simply based on fear and not fact. Data tells us that by investing in supportive housing, property values increase at a faster rate than those similar areas without a facility. Neighborhoods become more stable and more prosperous. It's smart. It leads to further investment and a more prosperous neighborhood. Nelson Mandela said, overcoming poverty is not an act of charity, it's an act of justice. And in that spirit, it's our duty and our social responsibility as leaders and fellow citizens to invest in our communities and provide ladders of opportunity to everyone. So there's signs here that say everyone in. And we believe in economic inclusion in Long Beach, and we believe that a community that creates conditions for everybody to come in, a community that brings everyone in, when a community brings everyone in, everyone wins. So join me in saying, when everyone's in, everyone wins. When everyone's in, everyone wins. When everyone's in, everyone wins. So what will Long Beach do? Will we take a step back and succumb to fear and the forces who resist change? Is that what we're going to do? We're going to step back? Or are we going to step up to address our most difficult challenges head on, to turn this crisis into an opportunity to make a real difference in the lives of Long Beach residents? Are we going to step up? All right. This has been a conversation for a long time, and I know that our Mayor Garcia and our Everyone Home Task Force has worked on solutions to address homelessness and the housing crisis for about a year now. And this past July, I introduced a proposal at City Council requesting the city to take a second look at former winter shelter sites, including the one we're standing on today, to secure a permanent property for the purpose of supporting our homeless population. And here we are, just 6 months later. I'm proud to announce that we've entered into an agreement to purchase 3 acres of land and establish the first year-round municipal homeless shelter in the city of Long Beach. So this purchase, set to be approved on February 5th, does a couple things. So first, it allows us to acquire Eddie's Liquor and the former Atlantic Farm site, allowing us to eliminate one more liquor outlet from the community, which has been a priority for our North Long Beach community for many years. And secondly, it sets the stage for a broader vision for a state-of-the-art campus, a village-style campus designed to help promote families out of poverty, out of homelessness, and connect them to supportive services that they need in order to survive and thrive. This wouldn't have been possible without partnership from the Kim family. Let's hear it for the Kim family. Without them, we wouldn't have been able to make this happen today. It also wouldn't have been possible without the outstanding courage and compassion of the North Long Beach neighborhoods. Let's hear it for all of our North Long Beach neighborhoods, including the Hamilton neighborhood. Let's hear it for them one more time. This is a game-changing opportunity to create a best-in-class shelter and a best-in-class campus that connects comprehensive health and wellness to economic development, housing opportunities, and new amenities for the whole community. Beginning immediately after the vote on February 5th, I've asked the city's Economic Development Department to convene a visioning task force to determine the vision and the best opportunities for this property. The task force will include partners from our educational institutions, healthcare providers, affordable housing experts, the development community, and our North Long Beach community leaders. They'll explore innovative public-private partnership opportunities, mixed-use development opportunities, potential partnerships with the Los Angeles River, Southern California Edison to explore open space, potential workforce student and transitional housing opportunities, potential job training opportunities, potential medical office opportunities, and a robust outreach that the North Long Beach community deserves. So this is a truly transcendent moment for Long Beach. We have a real opportunity to lead on perhaps the most pressing issue of our time and be a model community that places value on all of our Long Beach residents. And while this is a big step forward, we have to continue to place a focus on continuing to identify sources of revenue to continue the development of affordable housing at all income levels. So again, when everyone's in, everyone wins. And so I want to also thank our city staff, City Manager Pat West, Economic Development Director John Keisler, Health Department Director Kelly Copley for tireless work. And a big thank you again to all of our community partners. I see that United Way was a big turnout today, a lot of our homeless partners, our clergy community for joining us today. And I know that Mayor Garcia, we've been talking very closely. I know that he's not here with us. He had to take international tour, a trip to Cambodia. So he would be here otherwise, but we are fortunate to have our own Vice Mayor, DeAndrews, here with us today to give us a few words. Let's hear it for Vice Mayor DeAndrews.
Thank you, Councilman Rex Richardson. I have no words about whether this wonderful opportunity is not going to come to fruition, because usually everything Rex puts his hands in, it usually comes to fruition. So I want to thank you again, Rex, for that. I want to welcome everyone on behalf of Mayor Robert Garcia and the entire City Council I'm so very proud to be here today to help make this wonderful announcement about the acquisition of this very property, a place where we can help support many people experience homelessness and provide resources to people before they fall into homelessness. Thank you, Councilman Richardson, this community, for leading the charge, for taking the big step towards ending homelessness. The forthcoming campus will support our entire city. As you know, the two top challenges are facing in Long Beach are housing and homelessness. Long Beach will not ignore these crises. We are our brother's keeper. Thank you, Rex, for that quote. As we step up to challenge and make a real change, this future campus is prime example of that. And just last month, the City Council accepted everyone's Long Beach Task Force recommendation. These recommendations are accumulations of great deal of dialogue among our leaders. Community included people who experience homelessness. Because of everyone in Long Beach reported to the city has real goals to strive for. The 125 beds that this upcoming shelter will provide gets us another step closer to accomplishing one goal. I want to recognize the economic development staff who work with the property owners and the greater goal of the community in our city. Also, I would like to thank all of the staff that help support our neighborhood experience homelessness every day, like Homeless Service and Health Department, PD, Quality of Life Team, Fire, and Heart Team, and so many more. It's going to take a continued work and the compassion and support of our entire community to make Long Beach a better place to live and for everyone to be able to end homelessness. Homelessness, you guys, is not a joke. I think you see it everywhere, but a lot of people complain. But that complaint can turn into something positive if you just get around and put the sign says everyone in. Because if you're in, you win. And I want to thank our Councilman Rex Richardson for really stepping up and showing us this is the beginning of something great for all of our homeless people. Thank you again, Councilman Rex Richardson.
Thank you. Good job, D. All right, and next we'll hear from Kelly Colopy, our Director of Health and Human Services.
All these tall people. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kelly Colopy. I'm the Director of Health and Human Services. We have a real opportunity through Homeless Services Division as our department to work with our many partner agencies to provide services and permanent housing options to allow people to exit homelessness. Just in the past year, we were able to house over 1,000 households, and in the past 5 years, 5,000 households, moving people off the street, but we know we have so much more to do. Long Beach, like the rest of the country, has been experiencing a homelessness crisis. While our numbers of people living on the streets have been declining over the past few years, we do know that at least 4,000 people and households and families fall into homelessness every year. During the Everyone Home Long Beach Task Force process, it was estimated that the city needs approximately 500 new shelter beds to be able to meet the need. And that these would be to meet the need of those who are early in the process of homelessness, as well as those who have been on the streets for a long time. This opportunity, this Atlantic Farms property, will allow for us to have a 125-bed emergency shelter that is open year-round and 24 hours a day. And it's a huge, huge step to our ability to move toward meeting the need. This emergency housing will offer an innovative design that we've been working for in Long Beach for a long, long time. It will provide beds for single adults, both male and female, sleeping quarters for couples, and for our LGBTQ population. We'll also offer emergency shelter overnight for families. So while it's not a family shelter, it allows for emergency opportunities so that we can connect them into other family opportunities. We're also planning for pets too. So if people have their animals, we'll be able to take care of those. We're planning, as part of the program, we are looking to provide life skills training, employment assistance, support benefits, case management, showers, and we'll have meals. So we're so excited about, as you can tell, I'm so excited about the opportunity, I start to stutter. So many things had to come together to make this opportunity possible. We had funding from the State Homeless Emergency Assistance Program, which many of you have heard called the HEAP program. So those funds are allowing us to purchase this property. We have the county's Measure H funding that will be utilized to improve the inside of the building so that it actually operates as a shelter, and also county funding that will allow us to operate the shelter. So a big thank you to Measure H and for all of their support through the county for this opportunity. And then we also have a council member and a community who are willing to support the shelter and have the vision for a state-of-the-art campus to support those who are experiencing homelessness and those who are at risk of homelessness. I've lived and worked in Long Beach and I've been in so many conversations where I learned that people that I work with, my friends, various others, have either been in homelessness, they've been very poor, they've had relatives with mental illness, or relatives with real substance use. This is not something that's just somebody else. It's somebody we all know. And so these stories are so pervasive, and some turn out well, and really others are still seeking help. It's a conversation that impacts us all. So we all need to engage to change the conversation, and I want to say a big thank you to Councilman Richardson for his stand in this work, and also for the Hamilton neighborhood and the other North Long Beach neighborhoods who are willing and are really supportive of this conversation. We look forward to working with you as we move forward, and I thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, Kelly. And to close us out, I want to invite up my friend, Pastor Gregory Sanders from The Rock and the Long Beach Ministers Alliance.
This is awesome. And there's a great saying in the scriptures that says, the less fortunate will be among us always. And that we are supposed to take special care for those who are less fortunate. We're supposed to carve out places for them and create spaces for them. And so I'm honored after working with the team, the mayor and Rex and our vice mayor, Kelly Copley, and the entire, everyone in team, that I actually see an action plan being produced from the work. So my question was always, what would that look like? So I have a tradition, and I'm going to ask if you'll be patient with me, but I'm going to ask everyone here to give whoever's close to you a big hug. That's what it seems like we've just done with our city. We've included everyone. We've given them a big hug. We want everyone in our city to know that we love them. And I'm excited because I get to see the principles that were important to us actually being implemented. And I'm a believer that principles stabilize effective plans, and effective plans produce efficient processes. I want to congratulate you, Rex and Kelly and the team, for all of your love for our community and our city and creating a process and a plan that we're excited about. Thank you.
All right, I think you've heard from a number of elected officials and directors in the city, and hopefully you understand our very excitement for this facility. With that, I will thank you all for being here.